Welcome to Basement Wars. Today I'm playing Next War India Pakistan. This one caught my eye a while ago. Didn't pull the trigger on it. Then decided to get into something different than World War II games. I bought an ancient game, World War One game, and then this. So I decided to put this on the table next. Give this a shot. This game has two rule books in terms of complexity. One's a standard rules. This other one is advanced rules. The advanced rules bring in a lot more of the aircraft and naval power into the scene. Very little naval power in this one, being India, Pakistan. But again, the air comes into play. I'd like to get right into the advanced rules, but I decided to take a little slow. Kind of my goal with this, again, this is a series. There's two other games already out with this. A third one on a P500, along with another supplement coming out for this. So I decided just to start with those standard rules, get those in hand, and then move on. So like most war games, I spent the majority of yesterday going through the rule book, trying to figure out just how to play this game. I'm playing Kashmir here. A good introductory scenario. It's only got about 35 units or so that are in play. Different standard of or sequence of play than what I'm used to. The initiative player has such an advantage. They get to do initial movement and then combat. The player that doesn't have initiative doesn't exactly get to do a full initial movement. You can see here this number 5 over here up to the side. That there is their efficiency rating, and only units with a 6, 7, or 8 are allowed to move initially for the non-initiative player. So again, this kind of really puts it behind the 8 ball, because the initial player with initiative gets to do their initial move, their combat, then the non-phasing player gets to have their reaction move. But only moving those units that have a 6, 7, or 8 efficiency rating. But then it goes right back then to the phasing player, and he gets to do another combat round. He has a 2-column shift down, so a little bit riskier. But again, if they set themselves up right, they can get a couple of good moves in. Then it goes to this basic combat phase. And again, this goes back down to the first player, who gets another movement, another combat. And the way you kind of steal initiative away is either through the roles of the scenario. So in this one, the Pakistanis have the initiative for the first 2 rounds, and then it goes back then to the Indians. But you can also steal initiative away by scoring victory points in a round. So if you score more victory points, you can then take initiative away. Kind of just shows the ebb and flow of the war. If you're getting more victory points than your opponent, it shows kind of the tide of battle is turned and the initiative goes over to you. So in this specific scenario, these units down here are Chinese units. They're para units, so they were airdropped into here. Took one objective up here. So I gave them 5 victory points right off the bat. And then the Pakistani units crossed over the border up here. These Indian units blew the bridge. And these white mountains here, these are impassable, besides roads. So coming right through here because of this high mountains there, the only way these units can get through is either through there or through there. And the cutoff for this scenario is this line right here. Oh, so this scenario, the cutoff line is right here down this hex row. So they really didn't have quite the opportunity. This is only a 4-turn scenario to kind of swoop down this way, to come from behind. So I decided to drop in those para units there to put pressure this way, and then up here taking these units and trying to come up through this way. Initially I tried to break through over here, but this 710 unit was up there, and this is also a fortification. The Pakistanis took pretty heavy losses there, so they decided these mountain units are able to move through the mountains at a cost of 2 movement points, which is still pretty significant, but I figured a lot easier to tail it around there, try to get back to these objectives, maybe surround this guy, eliminate him, and then push on forward there. Like I said, very interesting so far. Enjoying it. I'm interested to see how they play nukes in this game. Um, yeah, one of those things you just don't get with the World War II games. So I decided to give that a shot here. Um, there's quite a few roles with nuclear weapons. I think about a good 2 pages, just dealing with what happens when you use them in terms of world opinion. You could cause global thermal nuclear war. So this won't come into play until I hit the advanced rules, but I'm hoping I get this initial scenario played a couple times. There's 2 more standard scenarios that I'd like to get comfortable with those, and then I'll be moving on to the advanced rules. Much more to come on this later.